We love a great battle in storytelling. If there isn't an enemy or a problem to solve, we lose interest quick, and worse, there's no resolution waiting for us at the end of the story, which kind of leaves us hanging. In the Christian life, there's this constant battle that's going on in our souls between faith and its arch enemy, doubt. James warns us of the catastrophic consequences of letting doubt have the upper hand in our drama. He says, let him ask. This is the wisdom that he said in verse 5 that we're supposed to ask for. He says, let him ask in faith with no doubting. For the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he'll receive anything from the Lord. He's a double-minded person, unstable in all his ways. So what are the consequences of doubt according to what James is telling us here? Well, we can expect to have aimless wandering. We can expect exhaustion from being tossed around like being on the waves of the sea, which of course creates instability, and even we would have a lack of provision from God's hand, which is of course the worst consequence of all. Faith, on the other hand, though, brings clarity of purpose. It brings us energy for the battle. It gives us stability because you're relying on the promises of one more capable than you are. And of course, you receive that provision from God's hand. Simply put, faith is belief in what's been promised, though not yet fully revealed. And it's clear from Scripture that God requires us to believe in His promises. It's the gateway to receiving what He has for us. But there's a caution. Faith is not some fill-in-the-blank kind of practice, much like we've made it to be in this day and age. We can't just say, if I believe hard enough for what I want, then God's going to give it to me, because all He requires of me is to have this really strong, penetrating faith. Godly faith is aimed at His promises and His provisions, not our own wishes. And specifically, James wants us to have faith that God will give us the strength and wisdom to endure difficulties, not to avoid them. So let's be honest. That kind of faith requires every ounce of our being. It doesn't come to us naturally. But fortunately, God meets that trust that we're putting in Him with wisdom, and He gives it to us in massive supply. He can be trusted. We can believe in His promises and have faith for the journey.